Welcome back. We're just jibber-jabbering over here, just trying to, get some ideas of what's going on out there beforehand. Well, Jeff, thanks. Welcome. Yeah. Nice to see you. Happy Friday.
Yeah, happy Friday to you too.
And I know we were kind of talking a little bit, obviously COVID numbers are still on our mind, and we're at a capacity now with our hospitals that's pretty unprecedented. But nonetheless, tell me a little bit about what's going on.
Yeah, so the positive cases for that were reported yesterday are 2,700. So that's actually down what we've seen in the last few days. We saw partly because of just how they calculated it over the holidays. We saw one day where it went up to 8,000, almost 9,000 reported cases. And we were in that 3,000, 4,000. So at least seeing at 2,700 and knowing that there's 31,000 tests that are out there, that's probably a pretty good trend if it keeps going in that direction. We'll see how that reporting comes out. Always a little concerned that the reporting sometimes gets in a lag, but
yeah.
The one that we've talked, well, unfortunately, 29 deaths reported in Orange County. Critical, again, what we talked about is 15 of those are in normal residential areas, so that's pretty high. And then 5 in assisted living facilities, and then 9 in skilled nursing. So those skilled nursing and assisted living are historically been high in Orange County with regards to the death rates, because when COVID gets into those situations, it's harder for them to control. The age of the individuals, the health of the individuals is not as, is more compromised, let's put it that way. And so well, that's the concern. So with regards to the one thing I did want to mention, 502 ICU cases right now, so that's really, like you said, we're at our max there. What they're doing at the hospitals now is kind of a triage effect, where what they're going in and trying to create as many beds as possible to address the ICUs. They still have emergency issues though that they have to deal with, whether it's heart attack, stroke, car accident, broken arm, and how they're handling those. I know in the case of Irvine UCI Medical Center up in Orange and in St. Joseph Medical Center up in Fullerton, that they've also built additional capacity out in their parking lot, emergency capabilities, so they can handle more capacity. What we heard in dialogue yesterday, and I'll talk about this a little bit with the Older Americans group and everything, one of the real struggles that they're hearing is making sure that all of the hospitals in Orange County, and now we're part of the Southern California region, is that having enough nurses, caregivers, doctors to handle this surge. That's really one of the big challenges that they're going through. People are working double shifts and overtime and all of that to just handle the pure numbers. So we're keeping our eye on that. One of the things I wanted to mention is looking at these numbers, we are now kind of shifting in, let's talk about the vaccine. And when's the vaccine coming out, and what are our capabilities? So they're in phase 1A now with the vaccine, which really means is that you're talking about the caregivers that are state licensed caregivers that are dealing with county activities, hospitals, nurses, first responders. All of those are in that high priority 1A. So some of the vaccines are getting out there. It's slower than everybody anticipated. There's more vaccines actually in the sense of vaccines capable versus distribution yet. So the distribution process, and everybody's finger pointing, unfortunately, but the county's trying to figure out how they're going to get into mass distribution when they get to a bigger number. Because obviously this number is pretty small in comparison to the whole population. So we have here at the Village, my staff and everybody have been working really closely with Memorial to see how they can assist us and their knowledge and what they're doing at the hospital, and whether or not they could be a facilitator and working with the Village and Laguna Woods and whole maybe to use one of our facilities potentially as a place of distribution. We call them pods. And that we're looking at a couple clubhouses that would facilitate that the best. We have a meeting on Monday, so I'm not going to be able to report Monday morning, but certainly next Friday, I'll be able to have a more comprehensive feel for where we're at with regards to distribution. And what in that first phase relative to our community, it's the 75 and older category.
Right.
And then it will ratchet down into the younger age. But right now we're really focusing on, okay, we have a very high population of 75 and over. Over 9,000 people that are in the village.
Right.
And so how are we going to line those people up? We know some people have already, who are caregivers and nurses and stuff like that, have gotten the shot. So that's great news. And then there's going to be some people that don't want to get the shot. We understand that too.
Right.
We're going to try to get as much information out there in the next week or so about the positives of getting the shot, what it means, and that. And we're getting that information from the county.
Okay.
So next week will be a big week, I think, in the sense of getting us some additional information about the vaccine and just getting that out to people from the county. And then secondly, with our meetings with the Older American Group and Memorial on Monday, I'm hoping by next Friday I can give us some idea of, hey, here's our plan, here's our strategy with regards to getting our community vaccinated.
Right. Well, that's really good news. I mean, it's better than reporting on a regular basis of unfortunate situations. So by then, we hope we can shift our focus to the vaccine, how you're going to get it, and how it's going to be helpful. So that'll be awesome. Also, I know that there's a big meeting that is coming up today at 11. I know we're going to shift gears here, but just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about the meeting that's coming up.
So this is the ballot process where all the ballots are going to be counted now with regards to the third election process. What Third Mutual had was a ballot measure to change their CCNRs and update their CCNRs and bring their CCNRs together, really. They had there's 52 different categories out there in the mutual third that they're basically trying to do is bring those all together and be one comprehensive plan. So today's going to be a very lengthy process because they have to go through and collect the ballots in those separate categories. So they got 52 mutuals in effect under the third umbrella that they're going to have to count individually and separate those out. So that's why it's a very lengthy
and
process.
They're counting them at 11 o'clock.
Yeah. But it will be a long counting period because,
I would imagine.
Because they have to go through each of those categories.
Yeah.
And so that's going to take some time, but it'll be on Granicus and all our processes, and people will be able to call in and ask questions, and our staff will be set up to handle emails and calls with regards to that.
Okay.
And we're ready to go, but it will be. I just want people to understand it's not going to be like 5 minutes into it. They're going to have all of them counted and anything. It's a very lengthy process all day long.
Right, and then let's go ahead and show the slide of the phone number that they can call in, and that is 949-268-2020. And then you can email meeting@vmsinc.org. And they actually, do you email at 11 o'clock with it, or do you do it ahead of time?
Well, you can send the email if you have a question now about the process. But if you're asking, what's the status, where they're at, that's the email address during the meeting too.
Perfect. Okay, good. Anything else?
Well, I just wanted to mention that to everybody, just a happy new year. We just got started. And we sent operation-wise, we start the new year. It's a new budget, 2021. So our operations teams, all of our outside work and everything, we're gearing up for the new year, full steam ahead. And we are in that mode with regards to especially our field operations and all of that type of activity. On the other hand, internally in the office and in the office settings and everything like that, we have a lot of people that we have going home. And when I say going home, they're working from home. And the reason for that is to create the best work safety environment for our employees, and we need to get that. So our phone systems are back up so that we have people that are working from home using the phone system and connected with our computer capabilities here. We have had obviously some glitches before and with the malware,
Right.
but we think we've had all that straightened
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to let everybody know we're here and we're active starting the new year. And if you need to get a hold of us, please call Resident Services, and that's the way to look at that.
Perfect.
And then the challenge for this year is going to be in certain areas where we're going to do some real deep dive in how we can make improvements to our organization.
Excellent. In fact, Azar talks a little bit about that for United, and then Joan Milliman talked to us about GRF's opportunities that they have ahead of them for 2021. So great stuff. Well, thank you so much, and we'll have more information from you next Friday.
That sounds good.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Stay tuned, and we're going to have Azar give us a financial update, so stay tuned.